Good morning, church. Right on the dot of 9:30, I will welcome you in. I will say hooray for all that you've already accomplished today, this first official Sunday of summer. I hope it feels a little more relaxed. I hope that this whole season proves sort of the Sunday you need when you need it. Here are my assumptions about summer. Everybody's schedule is a little different. For many of us, summer's going to involve travel or hosting. For most of us, there will be some disruption to normal life. So we take those disruptions in stride. You never know who's going to be here any given summer Sunday. We always just celebrate when you are here. We say that the right folks always turn up. So with that, I think we're going to get started with worship.
I brought up a very special guest singer to help me with this first song. Now, I think you've all heard it before, so if y'all would stand up as we get ready to sing, Jenna's going to start us off, and then we'll kick it in. So you want to do it, Jenna? Here we go. Ready? This little light of mine,
I'm going to let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine, shine, shine. Let it shine.
Woo! Okay, all right. Here we go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, 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 let it shine. All right, sing it, Catherine.
Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, 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 let it shine.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, 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 let it shine.
All in my house.
All in my house, I'm gonna let it shine. All in my house, I'm gonna let it shine. All in my house, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, 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 let it shine.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, 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 let it shine.
All right, Percy, let's play it.
Out in the dark, I'm gonna let it shine. Out in the dark, I'm gonna let it shine. Out in the dark, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, 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 let it shine.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, 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 let it shine.
All right, Micah.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, 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 let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, 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 let it shine.
Let it shine.
Let it shine, 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 let it shine.
Well, whether or not you came in this morning with flowers in your hair, either way, I hope that you're ready to let it shine. So turn around, greet somebody, give somebody a hug today.
Good job. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Nice to meet you. Do you want to go sit down? Who am I that the highest king would welcome me? I was lost, but he brought me in. Oh, his love for me. Oh, his love for me.
Who the sun sets free, oh, is free indeed. I'm a child of God, yes I am.
Free at last he has ransomed me, his grace runs deep. While I was a slave to sin, Jesus died for me.
Yes, he died for me. Who the sun sets free, oh, is free indeed. I'm a child of God, yes I am. In my Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God, yes I am. I am
Chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. I am chosen, not forsaken. I am who you say I am. You are for me, not against me. I am who you say I am. I am who you say I am. Who the sun sets free, oh, is free indeed.
I'm a child of God, yes I am. In my Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God, yes I am. In my Father's house, in my Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God, yes I am.
Oh God, we thank you for the love that surrounds us this morning in this place and truly throughout the whole world. The whole earth is full of your glory and is full of your love, Lord. As we gather here this morning, we remember that you have spoken love over us, that we, in our truest, deepest selves, are the beloved of God, and you are our Abba, Father. You're more real than the ground I'm standing on. You're more real than the wind in my lungs. Your thoughts define me. You're inside me. You're my reality. I belong to you. Let's sing that simple song. Abba, I belong to you. Closer than the skin on my bone. You're right here. You're closer than the song on my tongue. Your thoughts define me. You're inside me. You're my reality. Oh, sing Abba, I belong to you. And Abba, I belong to you. We are yours, oh Lord. Abba, I belong to you. Sing that again. Abba, I belong to you. Abba, I belong to you. Singing Abba, I belong to you. So I probably should have led off with this song with a little explanation, in case you don't speak Greek in your normal everyday lives. And in case you don't know this already, Abba is the Greek word for dad, but not in a formal way, like in a close, intimate way, like daddy or papa. It's a term of endearment, and it is the word that Jesus used when praying to God, not a distant God hurling thunderbolts, but a father of love who runs down the road to meet the prodigal son. A shepherd who leaves the 99 to find the one. A woman who searches to find a coin. This is our God. You came running down my prodigal road. You came running with a ring and a robe. And
I belong to you. I belong to you.
Amen. Please be seated wherever you are. I'd say we've already entered a time of prayer with that language, with that song. And so I'll just offer a few more thoughts about the life of the beloved that we're all a part of. We do all belong. Everyone belongs, and no one gets left out of whatever is good and new that God is doing. So practically speaking, a new thing coming at us right now is this season of summer that kind of shifts up the schedules. And I would say it can be really sad to be an adult in summer when the work doesn't end and all the young people around you are suddenly very, very chill till, 10:30, 11 a.m. Doing absolutely nothing. You think, I am left out of this fun thing. And so I'm here to tell you, you're not. Every season that comes is for all the beloveds. There is something in this that's for you. No matter your age or your situation or your exact realities, there is something to bask in coming days. Maybe you start to uncover it by just asking God to show you the places you feel most beloved. Maybe that's enough to get us started as we enter a time of prayer.
Broken pieces find new meaning. The cracks are where the light comes in. I've been wounded, I've been through it. Now I've got something to give. Brother, sister, rise up. Lift your weary hearts up. In the name of love, we offer up our broken hearts. In the name of God, we fight for those who hurt like us. In the Jesus way, we heal the world through sacred scars. In the name of love, in the name of love. Oh, oh, oh. Broken pieces find new meaning. The cracks are where the light comes in. I've been wounded, I've been through it, and now I've got something to give. Brother, sister, rise up. Lift your weary hearts up. In the name of love, we offer up our broken hearts. In the name of love, we fight for those who hurt like us. In the Jesus way, we heal the world through sacred scars. In the name of love, in the name of love. Oh, oh,
Dear God, for everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven. As the seasons change around us, we offer our summer months to you, scattered though they might be, limited by the heat, full of interruptions to the usual schedule, or crowded to fit in work and play. Whatever your own summer realities, we ask to see opportunities to celebrate life together and the energy to seize them. We ask to channel joy and to be of service in the everyday. Sometimes the tasks of this new season will seem too much to accomplish or too small to matter. In both conditions, be present to us. Remind us you are with us and in the work of our hands when we commit whatever we do to your name. We think of those whose summers will be harder than ours, whose homes will be too warm, whose days will be too empty, and we remember them in prayer. Knowing you are always with them, we ask that your presence be felt as comfort and shield. We ask to love others as we've been loved, to sow kindness, extend grace, walk humbly as Jesus did. And we offer you back the prayer Jesus taught his followers to pray so long ago. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever.
Young friends, we got a good plan for you today. If there's anybody up through 4 years through about third grade and you want to go to children's church, you'll see your adults getting ready for you at the door over there. It's often on offer that, they just can't refuse. These kids, by the way, will be in the children's wing for the little more than the next hour or so. First, they finish up church kind of in a big group at their level. Then they break into age groups for Sunday school. They are available for pickup at 11:30 in the same big wing where they've disappeared now. And oh, by the way, I was so intent when this worship service started on telling you, just relax, it's summer, let's be casual. I got so casual I didn't even tell you who I am. And what a silly assumption to think that you would all, know that information. I am Ginger Brandt. This is the place I get to lead worship and preach most every Sunday, and it is absolutely my joy to be here. So if we haven't yet met, let's talk out there when this service is over. Good faith can save lives. I mean that literally. In the story I have to tell us today, and I mean it metaphorically, in the way that a 2,000-year-old story can still apply and does. I really, really mean it. Good faith can save lives. It's the best good news I came to as I worked through the tale of Paul and Silas sitting in a Roman jail when an earthquake shook the ground beneath them. The start of this episode, which is found in the book of Acts, chapter 16, is a little convoluted. The setup for how Paul and Silas come to be in jail is really its own sermon. It deserves plenty of space because there's a lot of material to unpack. I'm going to have to short shrift the beginning of this story just a little bit so we get to the middle and the end. But we have time to walk through the basics. Paul and Silas are on a mission. They are on go to spread the word about Jesus Christ into the known world. This is about 20 years after Jesus was killed and resurrected. They have, at this point, been prompted by a dream of Paul's to go into a region called Macedonia, which is like modern-day Greece, and they're called into the city of Philippi. This is the same place that they met Lydia last week, if you were around. In fact, today's events take place pretty much right after last week's message events. While staying in Philippi for some amount of time, Paul and company run into an enslaved woman. This is a woman without citizen status. We don't know where she's from exactly, but she is owned by Roman citizens. That is jarring and bothersome to modern ears, just as it should be. But if we could turn off the modern filter now for the next sentence, because it's about to get more jarring and weird. The Bible tells us she had a spirit in her that allowed her to predict the future. I'm not sure that our 21st century brains believe in spirit possessions in the way that first century people did. And I'm not sure we fully buy into telling people's fortunes, but that is what the account says. So let's take it at its word for now. This enslaved person was able to tell people things about their individual futures, or at least fake it really well. Who knows? And the people who owned her used that gift to make money. They charged people to come and have their fortunes told. So the enslaved woman encounters Paul. She sees or hears or just divines something different about this guy. And she starts to follow him around. She follows him and his small band around, and she yells behind them, "Look, here are the servants of the Most High God. These people are proclaiming a way of salvation to you. Listen to them." And she just kept doing that for days, it tells us. So on the one hand, I kind of find this sweet. She's like a one-woman hype squad. And nothing she says is untrue, but Paul found it super annoying, as probably any of us would, right? She's just really drawing the wrong kind of attention. She's not leaving him to do what he needs to do. She's just too much present there. Finally, Paul gets so annoyed. He turns to the woman and commands the spirit inside her to leave. And evidently, from that second on, she had no more fortune-telling abilities. That's worth stopping and thinking about for just a second. I can't explain it at all, but I'm just going to deal with what we're told, and so here's what I see. There was a person in a double bind. She was captive to other humans, and she was captive to some spirit controlling her. So she gets released from one of those binds, but now she's possibly in a worse position than before, because she's still an enslaved person, and now she has less value to her captors. Here's where we can't follow all the trails at once. I would like to know what happens to this lady. We aren't told. So we got to make a choice to choose to keep tracking with Paul and Silas through the next events. I just know that Paul's healing of the woman made her captors mad. That's what drives the story forward. So kind of, in revenge, in spite, they drag Paul and Silas into Roman court and accuse them of being a public nuisance, of disturbing the peace in this great Roman enclave called Philippi. So now we're going to pick up Acts 16, starting at verse 20. When her owners approached the legal authorities, they said, "These people are causing an uproar in our city. They are Jews who promote customs that we Romans can't accept or practice." The crowd joined in the attack against Paul and Silas, so that the authorities ordered that they be stripped of their clothes and beaten with a rod. When Paul and Silas had been severely beaten, the authorities threw them into prison and ordered the jailer to secure them with great care. I find that an ironic word for what is actually happening here. Great care. When he received these instructions, the jailer threw them into the innermost cell and secured their feet in stocks. Okay, now we're into the middle of the story. Paul and Silas get thrown into jail for being different, for upsetting those with influence or the closest affiliation to power. They aren't just taken captive, they are beaten severely, and then they're chained to the ground in the center of a pretty big prison complex. And we just met the character who's about to become surprisingly important before the end of the story. It's the unnamed jailer who was told to, take care and secure the prisoners. We pick up at verse 25. Around midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns to God, and the other prisoners were listening to them. All at once, there was such a violent earthquake that it shook the prison's foundations. The doors flew open, and everyone's chains came loose. Whew, also worth pausing here. Don't miss the order of events. Paul and Silas, while physically bound, wounded and in pain, are making themselves feel better with songs and prayers. They sing and they pray first before anything better actually happens. Those are acts of spiritual freedom, by the way, used across all of time by captive peoples. When they couldn't free their bodies, they freed their spirits in song and prayer. And the other captives began to notice Paul and Silas. They leaned in, they listened, and something in the physical world shifted. We can call it an earthquake, but I don't know many earthquakes that open chains. Let's just keep calling it an earthquake, because definitely the ground shook beneath them. That's what happened after the prayer. When the jailer awoke and saw the doors of the prison open, he thought the prisoners had escaped. So he drew his sword and was about to kill himself. But Paul shouted loudly, "Don't harm yourself. We're all here." I'm going to say that again because it comes up later. Don't harm yourself. We're all here. The jailer called for some lights, rushed in, and fell trembling before Paul and Silas. He led them outside and said, "Honorable masters, what must I do to be rescued?" Older translations say, "What must I do to be saved?" They replied, "Believe in the Lord, and you will be saved, you and your entire household." They spoke Jesus' word to him and to everyone else in his house. And right then, in the middle of the night, the jailer welcomed them and washed their wounds. He and everyone in his household were immediately baptized. He brought them into his home and he gave them a meal. He was overjoyed because he and everyone in his household had come to believe in God. That was a pretty sudden reversal of fortunes. So much sudden good that we can easily miss the heartache and the horror of the system that just got subverted. When the shaking stops, the jailer's first reaction is fear. It's terror, really. Terror and despair. Not even a sentence goes by before he's ready to kill himself. And why would a mistake on the job, a mistake beyond your control, be seen as something so horrible you'd rather die than live through the consequences of it? What was not comebackable in this earthquake for this jailer? What is that horrific in his life? If the jailer had lost the prisoners, he'd probably be killed. I mean, he'd be tortured first, very likely, shamed at the very, very least, stripped of all position and job, made a disgrace and an outcast to his community. At the very best, he's going to lose all standing and the ability to support his people. The system the jailer lived in was harsh and unforgiving, even to its own, which causes me to ask, what do you think was in the jailer's head when he shouted the words, "What must I do to be rescued? How can I be saved?" What do we think he wants to be saved from? Is it just death? Or could it be more? And do you see the irony here that the jailer, whose job it is to keep people locked up, was the one who asked to be freed? And that the imprisoned people, who have every motivation to leave when the earthquake makes an opening, chose to stay and remain captives. On a practical note, maybe I'll add that recently beaten men don't move as fast as healthy men, and they are in the middle of giant amounts of rubble, so escape might not have been like a quick getaway, right? It might have been a practical decision to stay as well as anything else. But Paul's read of the situation seems to cut to the heart of it. It's immediate and it's compassionate, and he just makes this judgment call with his voice. We're not going to do anything that causes harm to someone else, even though Paul has just been unfairly harmed. Because plot twist, Paul is a Roman citizen as well as being Jewish. So those other Roman citizens that complained about him and drug him in front of the judge, they didn't actually have the right to do that to Paul. They could do that to plenty of other classes of people. Those could be imprisoned unjustly, but not Paul. A mistake had been made here, and in the light of day, the very next day, the legal authorities are going to come to that jailer and demand that Paul and Silas be released. With some amount of embarrassment, they're going to say, these men are free to go. Please send them away. Hoping that the problem just disappears and we sweep this episode under the rug. Paul must have known he could play the citizen card at any time, but he does not. He does not. And at a critical moment, he leans not into his own rights, but into the needs of his oppressor. Paul literally saves a life with a few words and his physical presence. And the words Paul uses, I want us to hear one more time. I want us to take in and learn and carry around with us because I think they're so useful still. Don't harm yourself. We are all here. We're all here. That is the literal and metaphoric way to save a life, I think. When whatever you are stuck in, be it a way of thinking, a cycle of living, a set of circumstances bigger than your control, whenever that's so huge and oppressive that death seems easier than getting unstuck, you're going to need more people than yourself. You're going to need someone to listen for the sound of imminent harm and call out, stop. You're not alone. We are all here. And we'll stay. We're going to stick around for you. When everything feels life and death, because it really is that significant, when everything that you've known stands to pass away, everything you hold dear is at risk, you need people who see beyond whatever it is you've already done, whichever team you're a part of, past the struggle you're stuck in, straight to your deepest need. And you need people who will offer to address that human need. People who will choose to stick around and see what happens. You need people who will stay with you when they don't have to. That's the way of Jesus. And that's the way Jesus' people witness to the world. They stick around. Now, please hear a very important exception. This is not the same idea as saying you should stay with a physical or emotional abuser in any kind of relationship. Culturally and practically, these are not the same example. No faith requires you to continue submitting to abuse. That's not a thing to stick around for. That's a thing to walk away from. Paul and Silas, however, are a different case. They're an example of having every human reason to treat as they've been treated, to dehumanize and dismiss, because they've just been dehumanized and dismissed. And they still choose something else. They still offer something else. What the jailer does with the offer is up to him. If he'd chosen to beat them again, I'd be pro-escape. I'd be all for escape. Paul and Silas act in someone else's best interest. They take a risk to extend a hand. And they just do it to see if compassion can be met with compassion. And this time, it worked. It really, really worked. To make what they did specifically more general in practice, these Jesus people leaned into the other. And they were willing to go more than halfway to do it. They don't even measure what is due or fair or an equal compromise. They just see a human in need and they lean that human's way. And then they wait to see what will happen. As someone who has tried to do the same in lots less dramatic ways in my life, I'm going to say that act of leaning in is rarely simple and never easy. I mean, never for me easy. It gets easier. But it's worth it, because occasionally that lean is the one and only thing that will bring about real change. Paul and Silas's compassion was met with more that night. The person who kept them in chains bandaged their wounds. The same person who locked the chains around their feet, put salve and cloth in the same place. The person who'd imprisoned them took them in, took them home, and started to work towards repairing the damage he'd participated in. That is a huge shift. I mean, you might even call that an earthquake of emotional proportions. The shift happened not only in social position, but in stance and in soul. It was, all of it, a life-saving change. Acting in good faith still saves lives. Because good faith, the kind that sees people, the kind that values people, the kind that leans into the other people, that faith is life-giving, not death-dealing. If there's death on the table, it's probably not of God. Good faith won't always keep us safe, not from the fallout of angry people or flawed systems, not from abuses of power, not even from the kind of violence that not one human being deserves. Good faith will not always keep us safe. But good faith will keep Christ's compassion in us, even if and when we suffer. And good faith will make more in a world set on less. Good faith will expand the amount of care between people and across people's divides. It will always be life-bringing, life-giving, life-saving. Good faith, like the kind that Jesus walked in, practiced, taught, modeled. That faith will be our rescue. My prayer for me and my prayer for us, and my best hope in this day, is that we will look for that kind of faith in action. We'll try to find it practiced and join into it, make more of it every time we feel the earth shake. Amen. I invite the musicians back up as we ready ourselves for communion. Welcome to the table that becomes whatever you need. Some weeks, this is a table of solace and comfort. Some weeks, it's a table of celebration. And today, I might just urge you to lean into the celebration if you're able. This is a table where Jesus says, I have come that they might have life and have it most abundantly. And Paul adds, now that you're freed, don't again become slaves to anything. Live in the freedom of being able to choose how you react to all the hard things in your life. Live in the freedom of Christ walking with you through every step of the way. Live in the freedom that you don't have to do anything alone, that there's a whole circle of people ever expanding who are the community of Christ and who will live life alongside you. This is the celebration in the table of communion today. First we pray and then we partake.
Pray with me. God of grace, thank you for this table open to all. As we share this bread and cup, help us to embrace your liberating truth as the Roman jailer did, and to receive the strength that we need to extend love, grace, and compassion to all. The table is set. All are welcome. Come, let us serve one another.
There is a place of healing and a place of trust. A place of abundance where there is more than enough, where swords are turned to plowshares and we meet each other face to face, full of grace at an open table, with room for us all in a world that's waiting. Listen to the call. Love is deeper than our differences and stronger than our fears. And there is always more room here at this open table. There is no condemnation to be frightened of. There is no separation. There is only love. And in the moment when we cannot find the strength to take another step, we can find rest at an open table, with room for us all in a world that's waiting. Listen to the call. Love is deeper than our differences and stronger than our fears. And there is always more room here at this open table. No one should be left out, no one cast aside. None should walk in fear or shame. There is no need to hide. Everybody matters, everyone belongs at this open table in the kingdom of God. Oh, the kingdom is among us, the kingdom is at hand. If we have ears to listen and hearts to understand, the joyous proclamation to the greatest and the least, an open invitation to come and join the feast of the open table, with room for us all in a world that's waiting. Listen to the call. Love is deeper than our differences and stronger than our fears. There is always more room here at this open table.
Okay. What else can I invite you to do with us? That's what this next little moment is about. Acknowledging that church is more than just worship, and we want to be a people with lots of places for you to plug in. I have some opportunities. Use them as you can and will. Today, in this very room at 4 p.m., we're going to take a minute to throw back into the good old red hymnal, we call it the Red Book, and sing some classic songs of our faith. We're going to be led by John David Creamer and by our friends from Glenwood Church of Christ, Andy and Stephanie Albright. So we've got 3 really talented musicians up front who are going to be depending on the voices in the room. Whomever shows up in the room, we get to be the choir. There's going to be some songs you know, maybe a few you don't, a lot of audience participation, and some a cappella moments, because that's what our friends are great at. And once you have them here, you want to just pretty much give them a stage for a little bit of time. So all that starts at 4. It's going to be really casual, come and go. I expect the doors may be open right back there. And then at the end of the hymn sing, we start a whole other social event, potluck and trivia. Starts at 5 p.m. out there in Disciples Hall. It's part of the summer social series. We're just creating events large and small in different places and making sure you know you're invited. All of us are invited into any of the summer socials with FCC. So that's happening. Next Sunday is the 8th of June. That will be Pentecost Sunday, so it's worth it for me to tell you now that we take a special offering around the season of Pentecost that goes to the greater church. It's a way for me to also tell you that we're part of a greater church, that we are plugged into the Christian church Disciples of Christ, and that what you give on Pentecost Sunday goes to new churches and new ministry opportunities. Also next Sunday, don't miss the thank you cookies that we get once a year from Disciples Women's Ministry. It's their great big effusive home-baked thanks for all the monies and time and support that we contribute to their mission causes throughout the year. Also, I think I have one more slide. Something tells me there is a June 12th slide. I'm just going to tell you about it if there's a picture or not a picture. June 12th is our 3rd summer social of the year, and we get to, because we have insider friends, we get to go to the TJC Planetarium privately for an FCC summer social. There is no pay, there are no other people. It's just us from 6 to 7:30 p.m. on June 12th, which is a Thursday night. I don't know where you're going to park, but just find a spot and then come into the planetarium. We'll let you in. It will be literally fun for all ages. Don't miss it. Finally, friends, as our minds already shift towards what's next, just hold on to this place and this feeling, maybe 2-3 more minutes, as we receive a few contemplative thoughts and give you the opportunity to consider how you support this ministry. Physically, practically, baskets will move from front to back. They can take a morning offering. Those baskets can also prompt you to the QR codes that let you set up regular giving or give one time only. As the baskets move through you, even if you have no physical money to give, hold the basket, touch it and pass it, and think about how this amazing thing called church that Jesus designed has always and ever been a group project. Beloved community, go knowing, go believing that good faith saves lives. And let the first life your good faith saves into more be your own. Go in peace. Amen.